no big deal. Let's get this back up the hill. Got a pine cone in there. So the power assist is cool because just hit the little button. Kind of helps you get up the hill here. Hey guys, it's Phil with the Moto Beamer channel. And in addition to fighting a little weird weather here in Colorado, I'm excited to launch a new playlist on the channel, which involves e-transportation, like this Mokwheel Obsidian you see right here. You see, Mary and I travel all around the Mountain West in our camper. And when we go to these motorcycle rallies or other events, we often want to go explore, whether it be the town that we're parked near or just the area itself around the rally. In order to do that, we have found that e-transportation has been vital in making our lives just, well, easier. Whether it be this e-bike or the dirt bike we have, or the e-scooter that we've been using. Whether you're camping, commuting, or exploring, e-bikes like this Mokwheel are showing up in more and more places. We've spent the last few months testing the Mokwheel Obsidian, not in a parking lot, but in Colorado, Nevada, and California, through sand, trails, dirt roads, and back into town. In this video, and here's my notes, I'm going to go ahead and rate this Mokwheel Obsidian in 7 real-world categories. Fit and finish, user interface, power and torque, range and battery life, suspension and comfort, rideability and control, and travel friendliness. And when we're done going through my 27 pages of notes, I'll give you an overall score and tell you a little bit more about the bike. So let's start with the foundation, the stats, if you will, what you're getting with this bike. The motor is a 1,000-watt rear hub motor, peak 1,300 watts, with 105 Newton meters of torque. The battery is a 48-volt lithium-ion pack. Mokwheel claims 60 to 80 miles of range per charge. The top speed is 28 miles per hour with pedal assist, 20 miles per hour with throttle. The drivetrain is an 8-speed Shimano Altus. The suspension is a 130mm front fork, a 50mm air rear shock. The brakes are Tektro hydraulic disc brakes with 180mm rotors. The tires are 26 by 4-inch puncture-resistant tires, and this thing weighs a whopping 77 pounds. It has a max payload of 400 pounds. The display is a color LCD with battery percentage, speed, power assist level display, and more. All right, now that we know what it's built with, let's get into the 7 categories. I should interject that there's going to be twice during this review video where I bring in 2 videos that I shot trailside. So kind of fresh off the bike, on the trail, giving you my thoughts and opinions right then and there. Additionally, if you find this review helpful, the months that I put into testing this bike and breaking down everything for you, please hit that like and subscribe button. It's the currency of today in the social media world. I really appreciate it, and also drop a comment below. I'll make sure to respond to it. All right, so category 1, let's get into it. Fit and finish. When I unboxed the bike, it made a great first impression. The paintwork looked great, and most of the materials felt premium, especially the suspension components, bars, grips, and the battery housing. But there were a few odd design choices. Both fenders, their mounting system, the front headlight, and rear taillight kind of felt like afterthoughts. The kickstand looks pretty cool, but it came loose on me twice. Maybe that's my fault. But the big one was the front of the frame, where it has these awkward studs sticking out, almost like something was forgotten. And what I'm talking about are these studs right here on the front. It's almost like it was held in place to get finished, and then they just left the studs on there. And of course, these fenders and their mounting system, for an off-road heavy-duty bike, they just are kind of a little bit flimsy. So for overall fit and finish, we're gonna go ahead and give the Mokwheel Obsidian a 3.5 out of 5 stars. All right, let's dive right into category 2, user interface. The Obsidian's interface is almost great. The color LCD screen is bright, it's responsive, and it gives you all the info you want, at least what I want. Shifting feels crisp, the throttle works great. But in my opinion, and what I experienced, the power assist control buttons are kind of a pain, especially in gloves. While riding at speed and on the trail, they're kind of small and squishy, and they don't really engage well. Sometimes they don't register at all. This tiny flaw holds back what otherwise is a really solid interface. So yeah, like I mentioned, the controls here are fantastic. The screen is great, but this power assist button on the trail, at speed, over bumps, especially in gloves, I couldn't get it to engage like right away, up and down the way I wanted it to. So for that, we're gonna go ahead and give the Mokwheel Obsidian user interface score 4 out of 5 stars. All right, category number 3, the big boy category, power and torque. This is where the Obsidian comes alive. Being new to e-bikes, I really didn't expect much, but wow, I was wrong. This thing pulls, and hard. On rocky trails, steep climbs, thick sand, the torque kicks in nice and smooth. It's not just about hitting 28 miles an hour, it's about the ability to stay moving where most bikes would not. And beyond numbers, the fun factor here is real. In some of these videos, this B-roll I'm gonna include, I'm on the trail just ripping it up. I'm in the sand just going. This thing moves. It has amazing power and torque. As a matter of fact, let's cut to one of those videos and I'll show you what I mean. All right, guys, so we are out here. I found a pretty cool bike path out here in Big Bear. And I really had a chance, I wanted to interrupt the actual video review because I knew I would insert this somewhere in there. So I found a bike path, and I always think that it's good to interject thoughts immediately after they occur, because if I shoot this video in 2 weeks, they won't be as fresh as they are now, and my hair obviously won't look as good as it does now. But helmets first. I gotta say, I was struggling with the suspension setup on the pavement, and then it got out here in the dirt and it made a little more sense. It's almost like, yeah, it's a little harsh on the pavement. When you get out here in the dirt, you need that little bit of rebound and compression at those settings and the big fat wheels to get you over the tough stuff. All right, rocky terrain, really test that suspension out. It's not like tier 1, A1 suspension, and not that I'm like this super bike guru, but I mean, you can just feel the inputs as you're riding. But I will tell you that it made more sense out here in the tough stuff, through those rocks, over a couple log jumps, small log jumps, things like that, than it did on the pavement. So I'm glad that I took the bike out here, and I'm going to continue to ride it on some more rough terrain. This is not it. Can we get to it from here? I think we can. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay, first of all, no big deal. A couple of things is I do like the brakes, and I do like the ability to see the screen right there, but the ability to change the PAS number, the power assist number, is tough with me. It's not a quick click of a button. Sometimes I hold it, sometimes I don't. Getting these PAS settings has been super frustrating. Just getting the button to change. That connection error message that I got, I have never received that before. Yeah. Connection error. All right, what just happened here? Connection error. Maybe if I shut the bike on and off. Wonder if I hold this down, maybe it'll reset. Oh, all right, we're reset. That was weird. I don't know what that was. So I don't know. I got to look into that. But other than that, so far, so good. So far, so good. Let's continue to ride it. We'll get back to the other review, or not the other review, but we'll get back to the main video and take it from there. All right, we're back. Power and torque. I think you already know Mokwheel Obsidian, 5 out of 5 stars. All right, category number 4, range and battery life. All right, so a little caveat here. I really didn't get on this bike and say ride west until the battery ran out. What we did do was charge it overnight every time we went somewhere, and I ran it throughout the day with no problems. This method of charging overnight next to the camper gave us more than enough juice for everything we did on the subsequent day. For context, on one ride, Mary had the Obsidian and I was on the e-scooter. By the end of the ride, her battery was still full, and mine on the scooter probably had about 25% left. So even with all the testing we did, we never really had a battery issue. We never even really reached half battery on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the Mokwheel Obsidian a 5 out of 5 stars for range and battery life. All right, category number 5, suspension and ride comfort. That's right, suspension and ride comfort. So I'm gonna go ahead and interject another video from the trail, but there's 2 sides to the coin with the suspension on this bike. On the pavement, it's really stiff. Matter of fact, Mary, when she was riding it near Big Bear Lake, she really didn't like it at all. She's like, this bike is super stiff, and we even adjusted some things and it just didn't feel good. And even when I rode it, it just didn't feel good. But when you get it where it's supposed to be, in the sand, on the trail, on the rocks, it feels really good. All right, guys, thoughts while they're still fresh. that I will include in the video, obviously. Thoughts on the Mokwheel out in these sandy berm, just, deep, thick conditions that, a pedal bicycle, you would struggle, absolutely struggle in. You see me kind of struggling here. But once again, just kind of like the off-road stuff I did at Big Bear, and I'm in Mesquite, Arizona, by the way, this bike makes more sense when it's tackling the tough stuff. You really get a sense for the power of the drive motor. You really get a sense of why you need these big fat tires to kind of plow through or over the sand as necessary. And the suspension, it's an enabler out here. It's an enabler, and that's why I really like to include these right now thought videos, because it's fresh in my mind. Like this, we were out here earlier today on dirt bikes, and the dirt bikes were struggling, dirt bikes. So imagine a bicycle, a pedal bicycle with an electric motor, and this bike has just been super fantastic. Just a quick break here to let you know that my thoughts on this bike after riding it in the rocks and after riding it in the sand out here and some tough stuff. It's really, really shown that, yeah, it's a little heavy, and on the streets a little bit rough, but out here in the tough stuff, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty fun. All right, so if you're getting this bike just for a pavement cruiser, in my opinion, you're probably not gonna like it. But if you're getting it to go rip on, you probably will like it. So it's not an all-around bike, but it lives in its element. And for that, I'm gonna go ahead and give the Mokwheel Obsidian a 4 out of 5 stars and a 4 out of 5 stars for suspension and comfort. All right, category number 6, rideability and control. And I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but I've got all kind of wildlife chirping and making noise. And that is why I love living and shooting and filming out here in Colorado. It's just, you're surrounded by it. You got to fight the weather and the wind and all that, but it is just amazing living out here in the mountains. I digress. Category 6, rideability and control. Day to day, the Obsidian rides well, but again, the stiffness and quirks with the assist buttons hold it back from greatness. The bike stays balanced, the brakes are responsive, and it inspires confidence when you're moving. But like I said before, if you're looking for something plush and chill for pavement use only, this probably isn't it. So I don't want to beat a dead horse. I've already covered a lot of this already. So rideability and control, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars for the Mokwheel Obsidian. All right, category 7, and this is important because I'm going to tell you how we made this happen. Travel friendliness. Category 7 is travel friendliness. So currently we move around the country with our travel trailer, and we put the dirt bikes in the back of the truck and we pull the travel trailer around. Well, there's no room in the back of the truck for this bike because there's the dirt bikes back there, which means we have to put this bike, all 77 pounds of it or whatever it is, now I do take the battery out, into the travel trailer. So there's 2 of us that kind of squeeze it through the door, maneuver around the corner, and then we have to lay it on the bed, on a blanket of course, while we're driving. So this is definitely not an ideal setup. I mean, if we have to stop and boondock for a night somewhere, then you got to take the bike out, maneuver it out of the way, all the things. It's just, it can travel with you, but if you're using our setup, it's not great. The flip side is, if you just want to put it in the back of a pickup or you have a dedicated trailer that you can put this in, I'm sure it will not be an issue. But for how big and heavy it is for us, it was just okay. So travel friendliness, I think you already guessed it, 3 out of 5 stars for the Mokwheel Obsidian. So here's the final verdict. After months of real world use across the Mountain West, traveling with this bike and having really good times on it, the Mokwheel Obsidian scores a 4 out of 5 stars. It's a strong, capable machine, and honestly, it's a blast to ride. But it's not for everyone. It's big and it's heavy, and it's built for adventure, but in my opinion, not for just casual cruising. If you're heading off grid, hitting the trails, or building a travel rig that can handle some weight, this Mokwheel Obsidian is definitely a contender. There are a few things that I really didn't like, but overall, this machine is a winner in my book, and I think the score reflects that. I'll wrap it up with this. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, sitting in the garage over there, I have another e-bike for review. We have an e-dirt bike for review, and we also have an e-scooter, the stand-up kind, right, for review. So we're super excited to launch this e-transport playlist on the Moto Beamer channel, just because it fits in so well with the lifestyle that we have. Once again, I'll ask you to drop a comment below, hit that like and subscribe button. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.